Shalom, friends, and boy, am I glad to call you friends. In these times, friends are so important. And you have friends, work friends, friends that would risk their life. If you're in a bind, you're in a tight spot, they would do everything to rescue you. Here in the Army, let me tell you what, the guys here in this Combat Engineer Corps elite unit for special missions, Yahalom, they'd give their life for me if they had to. I'd give my life if I had to for them. I just want to ask a question. It's a tough one. Let's go deep on this about friendships. Ask you a question. Many Israelis are talking about this. Friends of Israel are talking about this. And the question is, does America really have Israel's best interests in mind? Many, of course, would say automatically, of course. They'd say, of course, yes. America is Israel's greatest ally of all time. But looking deeper for a minute at the history between America's leaders, Israeli leaders, throughout history, and there's a real complex tapestry, a picture is formed. It's just interesting. And so in 1978, Jimmy Carter with the Camp David Accords, remember that? And he was praising Israel as an ally, but I remember he forced Israel, the American administration forced Israel to withdraw from the Sinai Peninsula, where there was oil there and everything. After 1967 war, we got the Sinai Peninsula in exchange for a cold peace with Egypt, and he inserted also the Palestinian issue as a core demand. And in recent years, Jimmy Carter even said that Hamas is committed to peace. So what about 1982, Ronald Reagan? He glowingly shared about Israel and America, and we're together. His administration did turn a blind eye when the first Lebanon War happened. I fought in the second Lebanon War, but in 1982, we were entrenched in the mire of war. People died. I've been to funerals. I've been to memorial services of those soldiers. And look what Lebanon looks like today with Israel. Lebanon and Israel, wow, it could blow up into Lebanon 3 war any second. Bill Clinton, the Oslo Accords in Norway, Oslo Accords, and they met there, and there was these dividing to area A, B, and C, dividing up the land. And of course, there was a floodgate of Palestinian suicide bombers after that, after the year 2000 Camp David summit. And I remember it was called the Intifada, just waves of explosions, suicide bombers. And Clinton bullied Netanyahu into offering the Palestinians sweeping concessions on Jerusalem as the part of the head of what would be a state of Palestine. And Arafat just rejected everything that was offered him, and he sparked a second Intifada. So, and then you have Bush. He stressed the unshakable commitment to Israel and America, but then he obsessively, harangued Israel over Judea and Samaria, and even we say, what is it? Get the Jew out of Judea. That's where we began that's where Jew comes from, Judea. And saying, remove all cities, all dwellings of Jewish people in Judea and Samaria, give it over to a Palestinian, and what do we get? More violence, more corruption, and rejecting every offer. 5 different offers for a Palestinian state they just rejected. Got Obama. So I'm going deep. Obama. And so he just really didn't like Netanyahu or whatever. He snubbed Netanyahu a bunch of times and had some thinly veiled tilt, it seemed like, towards the Palestinian position. And then we have Obama's treatment of Iran. Iran nuclear deal, as Trump said, it was a bad deal. And billions of dollars released that were frozen. This Iranian nuclear deal was viewed as leaving us exposed to an existential threat. I mean, that's the threat that they were saying. And now Ahmadinejad, who is screaming for our to nuke us, he's running now after Raisi's gone. He's running for presidency now. And there were reports that Obama prevented an Israeli operation against the Iranian nuclear project, but that's all hush-hush, of course. I remember some of those things. It's like, are we weakening the allies? What's going on? Even Biden, who trumpets his long pro-Israel support and how he's all for Israel, he turned on Netanyahu and the Israeli government just when America needed. And I love the speech he gave, but right when we needed them the most, he said, "I'm going to withhold arms." And sure, he's vetoing the anti-Israel decisions in the UN, but at the same time, he's accusing Netanyahu of waging an unjust war to serve his own political agenda. It's not true. This is a just war to bring the hostages home and to end Hamas. And he also keeps demanding premature ceasefires before Israel core security objectives are even met. It's almost like the Hamas wrote some of these ceasefire deals. And so putting domestic politics over Israel's safety. Let me tell you something. If this is what we're seeing publicly, what's going on behind closed doors between the U.S. and an Israeli administration? What's not said? There is a really, really good friend of Israel. His name is Trump, and he just unabashedly backed Israel by recognizing Jerusalem, moving the U.S. embassy there, taking a hard-line position against the Palestinians, against violence, against terror. And however, he really, was a truly trusted friend of the White House, and many Israelis are so thankful for him. And at the same time, we see some alarming changes. Some of the Trump supporters, maybe some of them are saying, when they see that some of them were saying Genocide Joe, Trump's response was saying, well, they're not wrong to say that. And let's unpack that. Trump's supporters agreed with the accusation that Israel's committing genocide, is what some of them said, which is not true. Obviously, Trump is he's happy to attack Biden. It's his main opponent. But leaving aside the inner America, politics, that's a huge claim that needs to be thrown in the trash. Genocide. Israel's one of the most moral armies on the planet Earth. I think we need some real we need to pray for moral clarity in the United States. And to be honest, sorry about those booms. To be honest, it's only going to happen with a true turning back to the God of Israel, back to the Bible, back to what, make America great again. It's save America. This is what it is, turning back to the God of Israel and letting revival breaking forth. That is what it is. The United States needs it. Israel needs it. And God's gathering the Jewish people back here. And it's time that we say, let's pray for America and Israel and for this relationship to enter its full and true destiny together.